Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Staff Sergeant Ayla Squires, and I will be the narrator for today's event. On behalf of the men and women of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, welcome to today's Change of Command ceremony. As a reminder, this is an outdoor ceremony. Military members are required to wear their covers and render a salute during the appropriate times. Although all family members and civilian friends should stand and place their right hand over their heart during the singing of the national anthem. Today, we pay special tribute to Major Wesley Eckwall as he relinquishes command of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, and we welcome Lieutenant Colonel Ayanna Touchier as she assumes command. The change of command ceremony has a rich military history, dating back to the reign of Frederick the Great of Prussia during the 18th century. At that time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each unit. To this flag and its commander, the soldiers of the unit would dedicate their loyalty and trust. When a change of command was to take place, the colors of the commander's flag was passed to the individual assuming command in front of the unit so all could witness the new leader assuming their official position. This symbol of authority represents their responsibilities to the organization and resides wherever the commander resides. First Sergeant Amanda Bosley serves as a custodian of colors and as the enlisted airman's spokesman to the commander. When the ceremony begins, Master Sergeant Bosley presents the colors to Major Eckwall for the last time. Major Eckwall will then present the colors to Lieutenant Colonel Perez, relinquishing his responsibility and authority. Lieutenant Colonel Perez will then present the colors and all they represent to the new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Touchier, who assumes the responsibility of command. Lieutenant Colonel Touchier then returns the colors to Sergeant Bosley, marking the official transfer of command. This symbolic tradition has survived throughout military history and is the key event in today's ceremony.
Squadron, attention!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remain standing for the arrival of the official party, the singing of the national anthem by Airman Anne Claire Peruccio, and the offering of the invocation by Chaplain Taylor Walton.
Sir, I present the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron. Present, march!
Oh, say, can you see by dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars true to perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof true tonight that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, march! Array, head!
If you are willing, would you join me in a word of prayer? Most gracious and good God, we thank you, dear Lord, for excellent professionals, excellent leaders, excellent human beings. You, dear Lord, have guided us to this moment, a gathering of airmen, families, civilian professionals, and supporters, to celebrate the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron's change of leadership, saying farewell to an excellent commander, Major Wesley Eckwall. We will miss his operational vision, his dedication to the mission, and care for his airmen. I ask a special blessing for the Eckwall family. Keep them strong and focused on their new journey as they continue to serve. And dear Lord, in the midst of great change can come significant triumph as we welcome the new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Ayana Tushir. Grant your wisdom to strengthen this command with compassion, insight, and vision. And finally, as she leads, please bless the Tushir family and the airmen who will follow. It is in your mighty and wonderful name that I say, amen.
Thank you, Airman Perucho and Chaplain Walton. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to have with us today the presiding official and commander of the 62nd Maintenance Group, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Perez, accompanied by his spouse, Amber Perez. Outgoing commander of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, Major Wesley Eckwall, accompanied by his dad, Rick, and his brother, Roderick. Incoming commander of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Ayana Tushir, accompanied by her spouse, Michael, and their children, Seneca, Sage, Cyrus, and Celeste. We would also like to extend a special welcome to our distinguished visitors. We ask that you please hold your applause until the end. Commander, 62nd Airlift Wing, Colonel David Fazenbaker. Vice Commander, 62nd Airlift Wing, Colonel David Morales. Representing the Command Chief, 62nd Airlift Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Toby Thompson. Commander, 62nd Air Base Group, Colonel Christopher Hall. Representing the Senior Enlisted Leader, 627th Air Base Group, Chief Master Sergeant Michael Browning. Senior Enlisted Leader, 62nd Maintenance Group, Chief Master Sergeant Daniel Humbert. Representing the Commander, 62nd Operations Group, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan King. Commander, 62nd Medical Squadron, Colonel Reed Orth. And Honorary Commander, 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, Miss Mary Quantrell. We also welcome all commanders, chiefs, senior enlisted leaders, first sergeants, and the men and women of Team McCord. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Perez.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this special occasion as we say, see you later to one exceptional leader and welcome another to the MXG family. Colonel Fazenbaker, Colonel Morales, Chief Thompson, gentlemen, thank you both. Thank you for being here with us today, Sir, I'd also like to take this opportunity to say thank you again for the trust and confidence you placed in Wes, and say thank you for bringing Ayana on board to take the flag from Wes as the APS continues to move forward, performing exceptionally as they have over these last 2 years. I'd also like to thank all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, members of Joint Base Lewis McChord, folks joining us via live stream. Where's the live stream? There it is. And specifically members of the 6-2 Aerial Port Squadron. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. More importantly, I'd like to welcome the family, starting with Wes's father, Mr. Rick Eckwall. Thank you, sir. His brother, Roderick Eckwall. Gentlemen, thank you both for being with us today. You both have a lot to be proud of. And of course, Wes's wife, Sane, who will watch this later. Unfortunately, she is unable to be with us today, but we understand. What some may not know about Wes's wife is that she is a Dutch Army officer and is currently in the middle of a 4-day march. Pretty cool, not joking. That's like a real thing. Anyways, ma'am, when you see this, know that we wish you were here, hope the march went well, and Wes will be on a 5 p.m. flight today heading your way. Ayana's family, Ayana's husband, Mr. Mike Tushir. Sup, sir, welcome. The rest of Team Tushir, Seneca, Sage, and of course the two beautiful twins back in the back there. So excited for Team Tushir to be a part of the MXG family. Before I move on, I would like to thank all who have supported this ceremony. The planners, specifically Spencer White, even though he couldn't produce the mountain this morning. The protocol team, Chaplain Walton, our narrator, Ayla Squires, and last but not least, Airman Ann Perucho for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. A round of applause, please. Okay, men and women of the Eagleport, the accomplishments and history-making you have done over these past 2 years has been nothing short of amazing. To name a few, over the past 2 years, you dug yourselves out of the worst of COVID. Masks, restrictions on travel, arduous cleaning and shift schedules, bearing the primary burden of screening at SeaTac, and anyone that has traveled through an airport already knows how people can be. let alone screening people during COVID. I know the struggle was real, and I applaud the efforts it took to maneuver during those times. During the pandemic, when most CONUS and OCONUS ports said no to taking on tours from the Garden Reserves, you, the Eagle Port, said, "Cool story, bro, watch this." And between June of 2020 and June of 2021, you trained over 1,700 members, more than any other CONUS port. You were exceptional contributors to the 2021 Zero Defect NSI, garnering 2 best practices, 4 star performers, and even a headquarters level Air Force award winner later on that year. Indicative of our nation's prowess in rapid global mobility, you were part of many historic events. You uploaded hundreds of troops as part of an unprecedented State Guard support that was rapidly sent to support the POTUS inauguration in 2021. You achieved uninterrupted operations of the only way for U.S. forces to get to Japan for PCSs during the height of COVID via the SATAC gateway. You rapidly deployed members of the Eagleport family to Philly to receive nearly 1/3 of all those NEO'd as a result of OAR. And I remember Major Eckwall stating there was no shortage of volunteers. Eagleport, you dominate anything tasked or challenged with. No one was surprised when you dominated the Pack-Off Port Dog Rodeo last summer, and I'm not sure if Major Eckwall will admit it, but when I asked him how he thought you guys would do, he looked at me cross-eyed, and as a matter of fact was like, they're going to win. And you did. A year later, you hosted the largest Port Dog Rodeo in over a decade with 14 teams from 17 squadrons competing, to include a team from the Royal Canadian Air Force. What you did went viral across AMC and our Air Force. People were reaching out from all over wanting to know more about the Eagleport here at JBLM. Due to the high demand of Patriot Express missions and overflow out of SeaTac, you stepped up and volunteered to take on the mission out of McCord Field. And this week you completed your 10th Patriot Express mission this summer, supporting over 1,800 passengers and 106 pets, all safely moved to Japan. Simply impressive and job well done. Wes, all the accomplishments mentioned here today were done under your leadership. You led from the front to knock down the barriers needed for your airmen to be successful. You led with passion and drive, getting into the weeds when needed, but most impressively, you got out of the way and trusted your leadership team to take your commander's intent and execute. I have learned so much from you, and now you have led these port dogs. Thank you for being such a great wingman. I look forward to our paths crossing again. Job well done. You didn't suck. I had to throw that in there. Eagleport. Here in a few minutes, Lieutenant Colonel Ayanna Tashir will take the guide on and assume her role as your new leader. Her reputation and resume are nothing short of exceptional, and I am excited to see her become part of the Eagleport as you all move forward and continue to be the example and make history. She has spent the last 2 years commanding the 90th Logistic Readiness Squadron at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming. I won't name all the accomplishments her squadron had under her leadership, but to name a few, she led her squadron to execute a few Air Force firsts, including a Sentinel support agreement, missile hot refueling, and a specialized vehicle rebuild center, which identified 7 higher headquarter benchmarks. Lieutenant Colonel Tashir also led her squadron in the execution of 2 perfect nuclear surety staff assistant visits and a flawless nuclear surety inspection, garnering 7 superior performers and 2 Inspector General Team Awards, which contributed to the wing earning the Colonel G. Williams Award for the best intercontinental ballistic missile wing. Her records are full of many more accolades. The bottom line, her airmen have shined in every assignment she has had, and I firmly believe she is the right leader to step in and move the Eagleport forward. I am beyond excited to see how you rally behind her leadership. Ayanna, welcome. Throughout your career, you have proven yourself as a distinguished and out-front leader. These port dogs are always hungry to dominate anything thrown their way, and I know you are the right fit for this MXG family. Lead well, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Perez. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand as Major Eckwall is presented the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to order. Major Wesley Eckwall distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States Air Force while assigned to the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, 62nd Maintenance Group, 62nd Airlift Wing, Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington. During this period, Major Eckwall commanded over 260 personnel, conducting round-the-clock strategic aerial port operations and a theater passenger gateway at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. His mission-driven leadership successfully deployed over 250 air transportation experts needed to arm combatant commanders with airlift capabilities in 25 countries, supporting 39 named operations. Additionally, Major Eckwall led the organization through a rigorous nuclear surety inspection, where he secured 2 best practices and 4 outstanding performers, resulting in the best report in the Airlift Wing's history. Furthermore, with no prior notice, he readied 26 volunteers in under 12 hours to fly to Philadelphia International Airport and stabilize a 24-hour joint aerial port of debarkation operation involving 21 government agencies supporting over 30,000 vulnerable Afghanistan citizens as they transitioned into the United States as a part of the largest ever non-combatant evacuation by air. Finally, his exceptional leadership led to his squadron's overall win during the 2021 Port Dog Rodeo, as well as played a vital role in the wing selection by Air Mobility Command for the 2021 Vern Orr Award. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Major Eckwall reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Major Eckwall, the floor is yours.
Sir, thank you for the kind words. Sergeant Squires, thank you for the introduction, as well as once again, I want to thank a couple of folks who are doing things here today, like Aaron Perucho with the just amazing rendition. Thank you so much. Chaplain, awesome start. Appreciate that as well. And we've heard it, but it's worth mentioning again. We all know these events don't happen spontaneously, so with sincerest thanks, Lieutenant White, and all those who contributed to putting this team together. And I'm remiss. Captain McGuire, please put the formation at ease. Colonel Fazenbaker, Colonel Morales. I think I saw Colonel Orth over there, Colonel Perez, Zamer Perez, Chief Thompson, all the commanders who are here, senior enlisted leaders, first sergeants, wingmen. I just saw Colonel Hall back there, sir. Hello. Family members, including my dad and brother. Thank you guys all for coming out today. To my wife, Sana, I love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully in time to watch you cross the finish line after 150 kilometers journey on foot. Thanks to you and everyone watching on the live stream. If nothing else is remembered from my remarks today, please remember how grateful I am. Thank you, Colonel Fazenbaker, Colonel Perez. Thanks to all the leaders here now and otherwise who have trusted me, mentored me, and who have been advocates for members of the Eagle Port. To the members of the Eagle Port, thank you for the opportunity to be on this team. I'd like to share something that maybe isn't obvious. At least for me, it was nerve-wracking to give the incoming change command speech. For me, it was because I wasn't sure of a lot of things, not least of which, whether the team that I was coming onto was already performing, or if I would somehow have to rally a team. Now, giving this speech, it's almost worse because I have zero doubt. The Eagle Port is unquestionably performing. Additionally, in the most recent weeks, I've been asked a lot, are you excited? I think the question comes from something about my move coming up, or new and different duties, or the perceived decompress from transitioning out of a command position. Honestly, though, no. That's not really the accurate word for what I'm feeling right now. I mean, am I grateful to have had the opportunity? Does it feel fulfilling that all the extra 30, 60, 90-day feedbacks were received as intended and even appreciated? Is it affirming to have spent many hours throwing thousands of pounds of baggage by hand into the belly of an airplane one day, and then pumping blue juice the next day. Is it rewarding to spend time throughout the squadron each week, knowing you're alongside patriots who just want to do the best they can at the job at hand? Yes, those are indeed accurate feelings, and perhaps can help illustrate why I'm not sure I'm excited yet about the change that comes from me after today. So I'll reorient on gratitude. Thank you for enduring my remarks here today. Members of the Eagleport, as you've already heard, and I'm going to remind again, the nation and I have immense gratitude toward the teams that jumped at the chance to move no notice to Philadelphia International, receive tens of thousands of humans in crisis, and help them transition to a new life. Thank you for the opportunity to serve with you and be a part of life events like presiding over 40-plus year of service retirements, congratulating milestones like promotions and awards, or even just offering a happy birthday. In the past 25 months, we've navigated COVID, where the only thing that has been consistent is change. Despite this, as you've heard, we crushed one Port Dog rodeo by winning it, and another by setting levels of participation and execution not seen in a decade or more. Oh, by the way, here I am in the middle of the speech, only to now mention that we rocked our nuclear surety inspection, nuclear readiness exercise, and even our daily related tasks with superb excellence and as expected, even raising the bar along the way. Further, even though Indo-PACOM never sent us a thank you card or even a holiday card for keeping their flow of personnel running smooth and without interruption, even amongst the unprecedented global pandemic and largest ever NEO, I'll simply offer my thanks to all those who have led and executed during my time here, as well as everything else that I'm not mentioning so as to keep us not in the beautiful Washington sun too long. Eagleport, Team McCord, and JBLM. Dang, there is going to be a lot that I'm going to miss about this place and this experience. Lieutenant Colonel Tushir, it's been truly awesome to meet you in person this week. I love your energy, your zeal, and how much you care about the people that you're responsible for. No doubt, I'm handing this guide on off to an exceptional leader, and that you'll take great care of the men and women I've been serving with. You are awesome. You are going to take it to another level that I could have only dreamed of. Welcome to the Eagleport. Don't worry, folks. I'm turning a corner toward a conclusion. To the one and only Eagleport, a genuine whatever-it-takes organization. Thanks to the military service members, Department of the Air Force civilians, contractors, and families who supported my #1 priority, members of Team Eagleport. From day one, when I stood here and committed to that priority 2 years ago, to my day none, here today. Much gratitude for operating with mutual respect, motivation, and professionalism in service to the most grateful nation on earth for those who serve. It's an absolute honor to be your commander and a rare privilege to be a member of this team. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Eckwall. At this time, the men and women of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron will say farewell by honoring Major Eckwall with a final salute as their squadron commander.
Squadron 10 hut. Present hug. Order hug. Eagle! Port! Port!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command ceremony, in which the reins of responsibility will be passed from Major Eckwall to Lieutenant Colonel Tushir. Attention to orders. By order of the Secretary of the Air Force and under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51-604, Major Wesley Eckwall relinquishes command and Lieutenant Colonel Tushir is appointed commander of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, McCord Field, Joint Base Lewis McCord, Washington. Special Order Number G-22-09 and is effective 21 July 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I am pleased to welcome and introduce the commander of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Ayanna Tushir.
Good to be here. Formation looking good. Thank you so much. Colonel Fazenbaker, thank you so much for hiring me. Chief Hodgen, Ms. Williams, Colonel Hall, Chief Browning, Chief Humbert, Lieutenant Colonel King, Chief Thompson, Colonel Orth, Ms. Quantrell, thank you so much for being here. Commanders, chiefs, shirts, men and women of the 62nd, it's great to see you all. Lieutenant Colonel Perez, thank you so much for those kind words. Protocol, thanks for your support, and shout out to Lieutenant White, Master Sergeant Swagel, and the team for putting this amazing ceremony together. Wes, I appreciate the warm welcome. Your reputation has preceded you, and you've done great things. Thank you so much for your leadership. I am fired up to carry the torch. Enjoy all the beer they have over there. You've earned it. I have 3 thank yous. The first is to friends and family. You've poured into me and made me who I am in ways that matter most. Mike, for 15 years, you've been my ride or die. Let's do this one more again. The second thank you is to all of you before me. To the men and women of the 62nd APS, high key, you're already known for your excellence, and I am beyond excited to work for you. My final thank you is to those who made the ultimate sacrifice and gave their all in the service of this great nation. All right, let's go, whatever it takes.
At this time, the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron will render their first salute to Lieutenant Colonel Tushir as their squadron commander.
Squadron 10 hut. Present. Park.
Glad to be here.
Order. Park. Parade. Hut. Eagle! Forward! Portal!
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the 62nd Aerial Port Squadron are proud to have served with Major Eckwall as their commander. We welcome Lieutenant Colonel Tushir as she assumes her new duties as squadron commander. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's ceremony. There will be a reception under the crane overhang area honoring Lieutenant Colonel Tushir and her family immediately following this ceremony. Please remain in place until the family and guests have departed, and have a great Air Force Day.